Well, it's the middle of the week, and geez, with the weather, I really wanted to work with some of the horses all week. James and I had a list of... Yeah, I know. I was going to tell them. James and I had a list of horses we were going to go through and work hard on all week. We got them done for the most part. Tomorrow there'll be a new list that I want to work on with him. We had 9 sets today. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't know what the track would be like, but they worked really hard on the track all night and really had it really good too. No, they did. Serious. We come back last night at 8 o'clock. Remember? We went back and the track was in good shape. So anyway, we went with 9 sets, and there was it's on my phone. There was a group of horses. I just wanted to jog. Either a couple of them were coming off the virus, and we didn't want to risk a relapse before the open house. One of them had a splint crowd, a curb crowd. Another one had a curb crowd. So we had about 8 that weren't going, but for the most part, everybody else went. I'll give you the highlights. No, I'm going to give them the highlights. Daddy is. You're going to be quiet. I'm going to give you guys the highlights. So not all of these horses are horses I went with. These were horses that were exceptionally good today. And I'll tell you how many of them I went with. 1, 2, nope, I didn't go with that one. 2, 3, 4. Four out of the entire 9 sets I went with that I thought were exceptionally good. There was a lot of horses that that had my attention turned to them today. Now, a lot of them aren't going to be shocking to you. A couple of them might be. Now, there's a couple in the later sets where you might say, geez, that horse was impressive. They were slower sets. Some of these horses, I didn't have a watch on them today, but I suspect they came a last half around 120. Again, we went slower. We went 3 laps, which is 1.5 miles theoretically. First half was just jogging and jostling. Second set was setting them up for their mile. Hey, what about this? Hey, what's that? People are waiting for you to talk to them, and you're just squawking. You sound like a seagull. So we'll start with set 1. The 2 standouts from set 1. Now there was 6. I don't want to tell you everybody that was in it. If you don't hear the name of your horse on here, the horse could have just did their work. Maybe I didn't get a clear line of sight of the horse, or they could have been in a jogging set. So Can't Muscle Me and Can't Deny My Spirit were very, very good in set 1. Can't Deny My Spirit is a very gifted horse, I think, and we're going to have a lot of fun with a number of these Ohio breds. I think we're going to be well represented in 2020 again in Ohio. Am I keeping you up? We're going to be well represented in 2020 in Ohio again, I believe. And I think one of the horses that'll play a role of that will be Can't Deny My Spirit. Here on the Ontario side, we got some nice muscle mass fillies I can just think off the top of my head. Where We Welcome didn't go today. She had a curb crowd last week, was a little sick on the weekend. I didn't want to risk it. Plus, she's just so fast. There was no need to train her today. So, hey, just relax. There was no need to train her today, so I didn't. But we went with... Excuse me, there's a little rage. I sense a little rage in you. So Can't Muscle Me was very, very good today. Pull your hand out. That's a girl. And then in the second set, the 2 standouts that I saw in that set were Walk on the Moon. That is, Mario had him. And the other one was Eglare AM, which James went with. I forget who I went with. Either the horse made a little break or the horse just didn't wow me today. Again, it would take a lot to make it on this list. It was cold today. So I was looking around and watching the horses go by. I wasn't disappointed with really anybody today. Any of the horses that weren't perfect today, I got a pretty good idea how we're going to polish them up for the weekend. And a horse like Walk on the Moon was very, very good. Eglare AM was very, very good. Now, I'd said to you, after the open house, Braemar and Eglare AM are going to the university. They got OCDs to get removed, but they trained well today. Both of them made the list because both looked very good. And again, you're going to have people that are going to say, well, if they look good, why are we tinkering with it? Why are we taking OCDs out? Because it's not how they look today. It's how they might look in June. Taking OCDs out in June, there goes 2020. So we're going to take them out. We're going to hedge our bets, so to speak, and we're going to take them out right now. Next Monday they're coming out. So Eglare AM, it didn't bother her today. She was very, very good. Walk on the Moon, very, very good. Third set, this is the first time I've gone with Miss Meringue in quite a while. And Miss Meringue was very, very good today. Now, she has flip-flops on up front. So the last time we went, it was very snowy on the track. She didn't look that good, and I wanted to go with her today, see if there was any changes we could make. I went with her today. She did make a little break getting into the last turn, collected herself, and still won the set. That's how good she was today. Miss Meringue was very good. We did have a couple of pacers in that set, and another one of those pacers who hasn't been broke that long and impressed me quite a bit. No free lunch. This was a Sunshine Beach colt that impressed me quite a bit. So in the third set, those were the two that caught my eye. Fourth set, neither of the two that made the list. For the fourth set, I went with Stacy Hanover. Was exceptionally good today. Now, I went with That's My Girl. I really like That's My Girl, but she keeps making breaks in the same place. We're going to add some weight to her tomorrow. I'm going to go with her again. Now, cut her some slack. She's only been in the harness for less than 3 weeks, so can't ask too much of her. She was in, there was a tall order here, and you might say, well, Stacy Hanover was only bought at Harrisburg at the same time. You're right. Stacy Hanover is a really, really gifted trotter, as is That's My Girl. That's My Girl reminds me of War We Welcome. Stacy Hanover just goes about her business very well. So Stacy Hanover and GW Chrome. The only thing we have to work on with GW Chrome, and you'll see this at the open house and when you watch them all winter, it'll dissipate as we go on. But as, you want to tell me who's in the next set? As we go throughout the year, you're going to see GW Chrome. He'll throw his head. He's very spooky around other horses, but he's getting better and better and better. And I think by the time we get to Ohio, again, this will be one of our anchoring and one of our linchpins in Ohio, I think, will be also GW Chrome. Now, in the next set, we had two pacers that really I thought looked very well. One Danny usually goes with, that James went with, and one James usually goes with, that Danny went with. Braemar with Danny O'Brien today looked very, very good. He's a real professional. And I have to apologize. I owe Casey Coleman an apology. She actually watches our videos. So close that. In the last video, I said how Braemar's brother, Vegas Vacation, was so bad they had to geld him. I was wrong. I don't know who told me that story, but apparently Vegas Vacation was a sweetheart, and the only reason they gelded him was because he acted up. He saw things on the track, didn't pay attention to his work, so therefore Casey opted to geld him, and that is why he was castrated. This guy here was really, he can be strong. He can be very opinionated, put it that way. But just a sweetheart to be around, and Braemar was very, very good today. There's a horse heading to get an OCD out right after the open house at night. They're going to drop them off, and then Monday morning, out come the OCDs, Braemar and Eglaire AM. Funny, they have OCDs to come out, but they both made this short list for today. I only made 2 in every set, so there's 18 horses out of 60, I don't know, 50 some that I thought, that I saw with my eyes looked very impressive. You didn't agree? Look, Braemar and the other one. Keep your eyes on a horse in Ontario bred here, and I'll give you a little background on this guy. His name is Brilliant Corners. This is a brother to a horse that I thought was very mediocre last year that we had, and we sold him. His name was Utopian, and we were supposed to get Brilliant Corners, break him, and they were going to sell him on Standardbred Canada. And Danny came to me when I got home from Lexington, I believe Lexington, and he said, "Don't sell this horse." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "That Better Than Cheddar colt, don't sell him." I didn't even know his name. I said, "Are you sure?" He says, "Well, prove me wrong." He said, "I'm telling you, don't sell him." So sure enough, we've kept him. He is on our site. This is an extremely fast horse. He's got a bit of an iron mouth on him. James said, you're going to keep this guy quiet. We're going to put a hood on him, maybe a snake cord on him, and get him under control. But man, oh man, can he ever pace. Very, very strong, very fast horse. So 2 horses in the 4th set that I thought were impressive. Whereas Braemar, not surprising, Brilliant Corners kind of snuck up on me. Don't let him sneak up on you, because this is a very, very nice colt. The next 2, the next set I put 3. I lied, I put 3 in this set. One you're going to hear about every week. Every year it seems like I get a horse stuck in my head where I just focus on that horse nonstop. And I can tell you, we have a lot of really, really nice horses. I don't want to be the guy that tells you every year, this year's better than last year, this year's better than last year. But we do have a lot of very, very nice horses. And one of them won my heart, Hanover. My God, can this thing trot. But it's not that she trots. It's how smart. This is a horse we bought in Harrisburg. To say, hey, I went a mile with her today, that's impressive enough. To say, I went a mile with her today and it felt like we've been training her for 6 months. Smart, follow a helmet. When you move a horse over, we always like them to attack right away. So generally when our horses come to the outside, whether training and hopefully racing, they attack her, but they learn to do that, right? And even when you come out with a horse right away, they want to attack also. They're having fun, a lot of them, when they're training. You move this filly over, she waits. She waits till you tell her what to do. Just chirp to her, just one time, gone. In high gear until you throttle her back. I can't remember. I always go back to horses that are handy and smart on the track. Lawmaker was one of the most intelligent horses on the track. This filly is that same IQ, where she's just really, really, really smart. She understands what her work is. She enjoys it. She loves beating up on horses. She loves racing and training. Well, racing here and training. But she not only should enjoy her work, she understands it, which is incredibly hard to believe considering we just purchased her 3-4 weeks ago. So Won My Heart Hanover was great again today. Made a little break going into the last turn. I know exactly what she did. That's just learning how to accelerate and decelerate in places. So Won My Heart Hanover made a little break, come back trotting, and still won the set. Another horse that got interfered with when I made a break, another horse made a break, was Eternity Road. Now, Eternity Road, I've talked about Can't Deny My Spirit. I've talked about GW Chrome. Eternity Road might be our best Ohio bred today in the barn. He's an exceptionally fast horse. Who is that? Is that Mom? Should we put the window up? Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Eternity Road is an exceptionally fast horse. Here you go. Take that. Take this human. And I saw it today. He kind of got tangled up, made a little break, come right up trotting. Man, oh man, this is going to be a big, big, strong colt. Okay, I'll see you at home. This will be a big, big, strong colt. There's no shares left. People call me all the time. Hey, do you have any shares? I'll be completely honest with you. I don't own a share in Eternity Road. I don't own a share. I own shares in GW Chrome. And obviously, I'm not a millionaire. I can't own shares in every horse. And GW Chrome's shares were so low and there's still plenty of shares left of him, that I ended up keeping some shares in Eternity Road. But all these other horses I'm talking about, I don't own shares in Walk on the Moon, Miss Meringue, No Free Lunch. Well, technically, I guess if there's shares of the stable. Anyway, Eternity Road, amongst the top. He's in the top 3 of our 65, 5 for sure. Won My Heart Hanover was very good. And another horse, for those of you in New York, every year it's slow selling shares in New York, and I get it. I know why. But at the same time, it is a big jurisdiction, and there's a lot of stake races. Horses there, you obviously want to have a horse that can get around a half. Keep your eye on Broadway Roll. Man, oh man, can she accelerate. This is a small filly. She's a Roll with Joe filly, and she is dynamite on the track. Now, I guess, full disclosure, my only concern with a small horse is there a saturation speed level? Like when we get to July, is 56 going to be too much? Which means they're just horses. I would say, yeah, that's a concern. But when you look at horses like Don't Believe Me, Just Watch, 53, Capistrano, 53, Wiggle Delight, 53. These are all horses that won in 53 as 2-year-olds. 53 as a 2-year-old, still an impressive mark. And they all made good money and had good accounts of themselves in 2019. So Broadway Roll, is size a concern? I guess. But people do say size doesn't matter. So Broadway Roll, an impressive filly nonetheless. Keep your eye on all the 3 that I just mentioned in that set. Last 3 sets, Gray is the New Red, was a little unfair. She was in with horses that do not have the experience level she had, and she really looked like a free-for-aller in with them. She did win the set and look good. A horse that surprised me, he's lazy. Adrenaline Rush, he's lazy, but he really, really was pacing on the end of it and looked good. Captain's Maid looked great too, and then her hobble broke. The loop snapped. So she ended up making a break, but before that, she looked very good. So there's 3 horses in that set that I liked a lot. Gray is the New Red, Adrenaline Rush, Captain's Maid, all looked impressive. Then we went on to the 9th set. Roy Hill looked very, very good, as he always does. There's 70-some shares or 60-some shares left in Roy Hill. I suspect those will evaporate quite quickly after the open house and into the early year drone sessions. You guys are going to pay attention to Momo and Roy Hill. That goes without saying. Cambridge Star is a horse that has been impressing me and jumping up onto my radar, which is good because he ended up coming here privately. Theoretically, I own 97% of Cambridge Star, which warms my belly to see him go out and look so good. Another horse that's small in stature, but a big engine in him. Really happy with what I've seen from this Cantab Hall colt. And then the last set, these were the horses that really just got here. You know, you had Italian Grit was in there, and Jazzy Judy was in there, and Blue Monk, I believe, was in there, and the other little big Jim colt was in there. The two horses that I thought laid over them, well, one had a little more experience now. Northern Blizzard was in there, and he looked very, very good. Again, he always seems to look good. And then a horse that really surprised me because I haven't seen her trot full and extend and actually look like she had a big, strong gait. Wasn't concerned because she got a long time before she races. You know who I'm talking about. Jazzy Judy. And she looked very, very good in the 9th set. Mario was happy with her. He said, she'll get it. I said, yeah, she got like 10 months, so there's no rush. She got lots of time to get it, and she will, no doubt in my mind. She's got a big, big, long frame on her. We're probably just going to show her off a little bit throughout December, open house and whatnot, and then shut her down for a little while. Kind of like they do in Australia. It'd be like watching our horses train down in Australia. Yeah, we turned this one out for a month. Trained it and then turned it out, and trained it and turned it out, and she got all the time in the world. So Jazzy Judy's the only one that's going to get, I guess, our Australian treatment here for training down. We're going to get her ready to go, ready to start training, and then we're going to turn her out. We're going to spell her. We're going to turn her out for about, I guess, 3-4 weeks. Let her grow up and get her feet back underneath her, and then bring her in and get her going again. I would suspect we'll probably have Judy ready to go first part of August of 2020. So those were the horses that caught my eye. Now, again, if you didn't hear your horse's name, don't be upset. It just means that maybe I didn't see the horse out there. That these are horses that I watched or I sat behind and I'm like, geez, this horse really looks impressive today. And all the horses on this list impressed me very, very much. So we got the big open house coming up on Sunday. We got our client dinner on Saturday. I'm going to be flying to the Meadowlands on Friday night to do an interview in the Sulky, and then I'll be coming right home. Saturday morning it's supposed to be rainy and snowy, so I don't know how much we'll get done, but we want to polish the barns up. We want to polish the gear up. We want to make sure that the horses are all ready to go for Sunday morning. And they should be. I count right now 64 horses in the barn. 64 horses will be going out the door on drone day. There doesn't appear to be any reason why none of them cannot, why any of them cannot. So we will see all 64 on Sunday morning. Anyway, that's it for today. We got a couple of horses racing over the next few days, and a lot of clients are going to be in town. Can't wait to see you guys, and hopefully you all come out for the client dinner on Saturday evening. Now, be forewarned, if you guys are staying overnight and you're staying for Sunday, if you're staying Sunday night after the open house, we usually go out for have some steak or something after the open house. You're welcome to join us. Just drop me a line, say, hey, Anthony, I am going to be staying in town. Would like to come out with you guys. We'd be happy to fit you in. I'm going to be making reservations in the next couple of days at the keg. So that's all it's up for us so far. A good day today. I was rather happy. Very, very short list of horses we want to continue to work with tomorrow. I had mentioned a couple of them to you. That's my girl. Look great. Just making a couple little breaks in the same place. So I can tell you why. When horses do that, when they make breaks in the same place like that, it's usually from interfering. When a horse like her in the middle of the straightaway makes a break, usually touching up by their jack. So little high set of trotting boots, put a little more weight on them, see if you can get them out of the way. We can put a little set of trailers on her hind shoes if we have to. Felix will be here on Friday to do that. So that's everything. That's today. It was cold, but it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Take care.